This guy works as a stage lighting director for big events and concerts. He works day and night. But one day, a piece of news completely breaks him. His wife has been in a terrible accident. When he gets there, he finds out that his wife has already been taken into surgery. Outside the operating room, there's a strange woman sitting there, crying her eyes out all alone. Then, his father-in-law calls him.
출장 중이었나 봐. 그래.
His wife is finally moved to the recovery room. The crash was so serious that she falls into a coma.
강수진 씨 보호자되세요?
The police call In-soo in to explain what happened. There, he sees the woman from last night again. Her name is Seo Young. She is the wife of the other victim in the accident. And the shocking part is that her husband was in the same car as Soo-jin. Both of them were so drunk that they were completely out of it.
제 아내는 술을 못 마시는데요.
But the police calmly tell In-soo that the blood test results prove everything. When In-soo and Seo Young are asked to collect their spouse's belongings, they find a condom in the bag. That almost confirms that Soo-jin was having an affair with Kyung-ho. At the accident scene, there's a pair of high heels, and those heels belong to In-soo's wife. Little by little, the answers begin to come out.
강수진 씨 때문에 전화드렸습니다.
지금 휴가 중이신데 무슨 일이시죠?
But the truth is, Soo-jin had taken time off and never told anyone where she was going. In-soo even finds a romantic text message on his wife's phone from another man. Even when Soo-jin's father travels all the way to Samcheok, In-soo still hides every secret about his wife.
출장 중이었다고 그랬지?
저 서울에 하루 정도 다녀와야 될 것 같습니다.
He only asks his father-in-law to watch Soo-jin for one day.
김 감독, 어젯밤 공연 때문에 문제가 좀 복잡해졌다. 너 좀 쉬어라. 예.
But his work completely falls apart, and he starts dragging his coworkers down with him. Now, he rents a small room near Samcheok Hospital. Unexpectedly, Seo Young is staying at the same motel.
잠깐만요.
무슨 일이시죠?
남편분이 출장 중이었던 게 맞습니까?
네, 맞습니다.
제 아내는 휴가 중이었습니다. 저는 부업 때문에 같이 내려왔다고 말했습니다. 그쪽도 그렇게 알아주셨으면 좋겠어요.
But that night at the hospital, Seo Young suddenly stands silently in front of Soo-jin's hospital bed.
지금 뭐 하시는 겁니까?
Later that night, Seo Young goes to a pharmacy to buy sleeping pills.
네.
And at the same time, In-soo shows up for the exact same reason.
잠이 잘 안 와서 그러는데요.
Knowing that they are staying at the same motel, Seo Young waits outside In-soo's room.
어떻게 알게 되셨어요?
문자 메시지를 받습니다.
저도 메시지를 봤어요.
It turns out that Seo Young has read the same kind of messages on her husband's phone. She says she wants to give In-soo something that belongs to his wife. It is the black camera she took from the police station. Inside that camera, there's a video showing Soo-jin getting intimate with Kyung-ho in a hotel room. Sensing that something was wrong with his friend, In-soo's co-worker drove all the way from Seoul to check on him.
넌 와이프랑 잘 지내냐?
그냥요.
While drunk, In-soo finally let everything out. That night, In-soo staggered to Seo Young's door and started banging on it over and over again. Then he passes out and ends up staying in Seo Young's room the whole night. The next morning, Seo Young ends up sleeping on the hospital sofa.
미안합니다.
She completely understands how broken In-soo is.
안녕하세요.
사망한 사람이 워낙 젊어나서 합의가 쉽지 않을 것 같네요.
The teenage boy that Soo-jin and Kyung-ho hit on the night of the accident has finally passed away at the hospital. In-soo and Seo-young went to the victim's funeral as representatives. Of course, none of the mourners at the funeral know who they are.
연기 친구요?
사고 낸 사람의 배우자입니다.
The family's rage instantly explodes. On the drive back, while Seo-young is still crying,
잠시만 세워주세요.
back at the hotel,
힘내세요.
that small bit of care from someone who is also suffering from the same pain of betrayal immediately calms Seo-young down. Every day, he takes care of his wife without a single complaint. But he still cannot understand why Soo-jin could betray him so cruelly. That night, Seo-young watches him from a distance. She does not really want to play in the snow. She just wants to see his face up close.
운동하세요? 아까 눈 던지는 거
아니요. 공연 조명이래요.
Seo-young suddenly realizes something. Maybe her husband and Soo-jin had known each other for a very long time through that university club.
같은 동아리였겠네요, 두 사람.
That night, Seo-young and In-soo slowly began to open up to each other. There was one thing In-soo truly wanted to ask her. What will you do if your husband wakes up?
변명이라도 듣고 싶은데. 깨어나면 어떻게 하실 거예요?
복수하려고요.
우리 사귈래요? 둘이 기절하게.
They start running into each other at the convenience store, eating instant noodles together, and crossing paths on the street. And every time, it ends with a long conversation. After more than a month, Soo-jin and Kyung-ho are finally moved into separate ICU rooms. Their conditions are slowly getting better. Seo-young starts dressing up beautifully, and In-soo also begins looking more put together.
우리 뭐 할까요?
뭐 하고 싶으세요?
But since neither of them knows where to go or what to do, they just look at each other and silently decide to go to a hotel. They agree to do the exact same thing their wife and husband did. At first, everything is still very difficult for them. Seo-young goes back to the beach. In-soo patiently stays by her side and gently tries to cheer her up.
제가 할게요.
The two of them begin caring for each other in small ways. And little by little, that feeling of comfort starts to grow between them. But right at that moment, In-soo's father-in-law suddenly drops by.
아니요. 아버님, 제가 방문을 안 잠그고 왔는데요.
내려가 있을게.
네, 내려가 계세요.
괜찮아요.
Seo-young wasn't even angry about being hidden away like a secret lover. Now, Seo-young always makes sure she looks pretty just to see In-soo. Little sweet memories begin forming between them in secret, one by one. Soo-jin has woken up. For the first time in his life, In-soo does not know whether he should feel happy or sad.
수진아,
But Soo-jin still cannot respond, and she still cannot speak.
보통은 말씀을 하시려면 한 2, 3주 정도는 걸립니다.
Outside the room, Seo-young sees the one thing she never wanted to see. Her heart feels like it has shattered. She believes In-soo has returned to his wife. She cries as she hugs her still comatose husband, but she has no idea that In-soo is standing outside the door, quietly watching everything. The next day, everything goes on as if nothing happened. But while Soo-jin's condition keeps getting better, Seo-young's husband suddenly gets worse.
서울의 큰 병원으로 옮겨 보시겠습니까?
그 여자분은 어떻게 되나요?
서울로 옮기게 됐습니다.
And In-soo never even told her about it himself. From that moment on, Seo-young starts keeping her distance and avoiding In-soo. On their last night, Seo-young stands far away, looking at the window of In-soo's motel room. In-soo is also quietly looking toward her room. After Soo-jin wakes up, everything between them completely changes. There is no more warmth, no more spark in their closeness. Until finally, In-soo gathers the courage to knock on Seo-young's door.
밥 먹으러 갈래요? 기다릴게요.
But in the end, neither of them can lie about the lonely desire inside them.
어떻게 될까요?
Seo-young and In-soo even went so far as to pay the nurses to look after their legal spouses for them, just so the two of them could be together freely. But tragically, her husband Kyung-ho suddenly took a turn for the worse and passed away.
15시 23분에 돌아가셨습니다. 들어가셔서 보실래요?
A few days later, In-soo shows up at Kyung-ho's funeral. Throughout the funeral, In-soo does not say a single word, but just having him there, quietly watching her from afar, gives Seo-young a little comfort. After the funeral ends, Seo-young returns to Samcheok to pack up her things at the hotel. But honestly, the real reason she comes back is to see In-soo one last time. In-soo stops himself and lets her leave. The important thing he has to do now is take care of Soo-jin. In front of Soo-jin, he can still play the role of a caring husband, but deep inside, his soul has already been shattered. That same day, he tells her he wants a divorce. It is also the cruelest punishment for everything she has done. He packs his things, turns around, and chooses to return to Seoul alone. He wants to rebuild his life. The first snow of spring slowly begins to fall over the city, and there is only one name that keeps appearing in his mind: Seo-young. At first, the warm and passionate feelings he had with her in that hotel were nothing more than part of his revenge. They came from his wounded pride after what Kyung-ho did with his wife. But In-soo does not continue down that path. Instead, what remains inside him is a strange feeling of relief. The film ends here. Thank you for watching until the end. Goodbye, and see you in the next video.